after the 2024 election, Black people took notice. We looked at the election results and broke it down by race and by gender on just who voted for who. And this is exactly why solidarity has become a glaring issue in the Black community. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome for the first time. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and the bell as well, only if you like the content. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about why it's hard to have solidarity with other groups of color at a time where everything is just out of control. Social media is rampant. You turn it on, you see people being racist, not just white people. You see people being very prejudiced and discriminatory against Black people. And at the end of the day, we know there's a bigger play here. We know we need solidarity. We know we need unity. But Black folks, we're not trying to hear that right now. Because of the disrespect, the constant disrespect, the constant downgrading or degradation, degrading of Black people, calling us the N-word. They used to reject our culture, used to reject our music until it became popular. And then everyone wants to jump on. Hell, people now are even trying to chime in and claim that they helped or even invented it themselves. You know what I'm talking about. But I got a couple clips I'm gonna play and we're gonna talk about this. NAACP speaker booed at Black panel for urging Latino solidarity. The incident happened at a Black community panel in Columbus, Ohio, featuring voices like Vicky Dillard and African Diaspora News Channel reps amid African symbols and stage badges. Identified as Phil, the speaker pushed solidarity, but the audience rejected it, highlighting tensions between traditional coalitions and foundational Black Americans, or FBAs, who prioritize descendants of enslaved people. Reactions celebrated the boos as a stand against perceived democratic tactics favoring immigrants, citing job competition and demographic shifts. Through a few voices urged unity against shared oppression. Now, I was already very familiar with this story. I frequently watch pretty much on a daily basis the African Diaspora News Channel with Philip Scott and Demetri Kay, and as well as a few others. But I was already aware that this had taken place because this was their event. And the brother did get up there, according to the stories. I'm gonna play the clip, but he did get up there and expect to receive a different reaction to this coalition politics. And he's wearing a NAACP shirt. And I think what it is those folks, they're not really in tune. They're not really in touch with talking to the people that are actually on the ground. And so I think they're all, I've heard it said before, I think they're all in their own little bubble, and they really need to get out of that bubble, get outside, touch grass, and talk with the actual Black people in your community. If it is indeed your community.
Have the numbers, what we can have is that solidarity, because our causes are our causes. So we all know that we want to be able to eat. We should all be able to eat, to flourish, to be able to be happy in this city. And so whatever that looks like to you is what needs to be communicated to the powers that be.
Solidarity with whom? Could you describe who you need to be in solidarity with? I'm confused.
For me, that's Black and brown people throughout the city. Well, I'm not sure what the issue is there, but if it's a numbers game, we're going to have the same problem. But where are we? Hey.
So as you can see from the video, the looks on his face, as well as other people's faces that were there, he was in for a rude awakening, because again, these people live in their own bubbles. And what we often, I think from my personal take, is we often get things confused in terms of We all have our social circles. We all have our people who we feel comfortable being around. And that circle is often a reflection of how people think. Like, you're not going to be associating yourself with people who think differently from you. Hence the bubble. We insulate ourselves sometimes, and to our own detriment. That's anybody. That's not particular to any particular race. But this brother here, I guess he hasn't really been around people who think different from him, or just been around the average black person, because a lot of us felt this way collectively after the election. And I guess not all of us did. And especially the things that happened after the Ashley Gonzalez situation. And you've seen how many Hispanic folks came out in support of her, in support of what she was saying. That was a very viral moment. And people, we watched. Black people are really resting right now. We're sitting back and we're observing, right? So it's basically like when these other groups say that they need help and all of that, and they get to reaching out and all of that. It's like, well, we're watching. How did you respond? How did you react when this happened? What were your words? What were you saying on social media? What was your response? Did you come out and did you condemn the actions of someone who looked like you, who was out there disparaging black people? And maybe if we don't necessarily hold anyone specifically to that account, we are doing what you have always done to us, treating you as a collective. Because if 1 or 2 or 3 or even 600 or whatever the number may be, which is not a full representation of black people in their entire community, but if some of us, a very small percentage, go out there and commit crimes and it make us look bad in your eyes, it make us look bad because we know that we're being judged on a global scale. We know we're being judged as a whole, as a collective. It's funny how these other races of people, when one of theirs, I'm taking Ashley Gonzalez, for example, when one of theirs goes out and does some of the most heinous, horrendous shit, they want to be treated as individuals and not as a collective, not as the group. That's not how it works now with us. You see, no. We're going to judge you based on how you judge us. Fair is fair. You know, it can't be double standards. It can't be one rule for you and one rule for me. That's not how this works. That's not how it's going to work. And that brother was there and he found out, oh, I need to get out of my circle. Oh, I need to get out of my bubble, because these are real black people out here in this crowd. These are real black people that's on the ground every day in the community. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that this brother is not that in particular. I'm not saying he's not in the community. Maybe he is. But if you're in the community, are you talking to said community? Are you talking to those folks? Because you should have known. You should have been able to read the room. Have you been paying any type of attention to social media? Have you been paying any type of attention to the news? These people are saying things about black folks, and black people are watching, and we're taking note. We're noticing it. And we realize that it's just us. We all we got. It's just us. Coalition politics isn't going to work this time around, because we see through the veil. We see through the facade. We see through the bullshit. That's it.
The NAACP in Columbus, Ohio is calling for black and brown solidarity. Check out the response from the audience.
What we can't have is that solidarity, because our cause are our cause. So we all know that we want to be able to eat. You know, we should all be able to eat, to flourish, to be able to be happy in this city. And so whatever that looks like to you is what needs to be communicated to the powers that be.
Solidarity with whom? Could you describe who needs to be in solidarity with? I'm confused.
For me, that's black and brown people throughout the city. Well, if that's I'm not sure what the issue is there. If it's a numbers game, we're at the same problem. But why are we? Oh. Uh-oh. Hey.
And this is how disconnected these people are in these positions, because how they heard the I Stand With Ashley Gonzalez movement, or the former Los Angeles president councilwoman that called the little black boy a monkey, Nori Martinez, or do they just choose to ignore stuff like that and continue to push this false narrative? And on top of that, the Latino and Hispanic community is one of the most tetherist communities, because when it's beneficial to sip white milk, that's what they sipping on. And when it's beneficial to sip on horchata, that's what they sipping on. And when it's beneficial to sip on sweet tea, that's what they sipping on. But avoid any hard labor, hard lifting, or persecution by any means necessary. If it's beneficial to distance themselves from black Americans, that's what they gonna do, because they did it in the past, right? And my question is, what minority group ever been unified with black Americans? So this is not a matter of numbers, sir. This is a matter of reciprocation. This is a matter of I scratch your back, you scratch my back, which never happened. And once again, what minority group ever been unified with black Americans? Because when you see black Americans, you see, oh, it's struggle. Oh, it's persecution. That's who they're always targeting. Let's distance ourselves from them by any means necessary. But when it's down to be cool and, pop, lock it, drop it, twerking on a handstand, then yeah, we all ears and we all down, right? Just like hip hop. When hip hop wasn't popping, they called it jungle music, monkey music, Puerto Ricans, and we're gonna stay away from that. But soon as it got on globally, oh yeah, we all pioneers in this. Yeah, but anyway, these people are so disconnected. They don't know what's going on the ground. And is there any black American leaders out there that advocate for black Americans? Because I don't see none.
That brother was not wrong. I'm gonna keep using the Ashley Gonzalez incident because that's kind of the latest one at the time of this recording. Black people have seen this. We've had our own private discussions in our own communities. Sure, there may be individuals that side with black people, that understand our plight, that may understand our issues, and may not share that white mindset. But as a collective, we talking about collectives here, right? 50-50. It was 50-50 between Latino men that voted for Trump. 50-50. Half of them voted for Kamala, half of them voted for Trump. They have their own divides in their own community. They have their own issues in their own community, like every other race of people. Nobody's exempt here. But the way that portions of their community look down on black folks, when black people, all we've ever done, it's not what we tried to do, all we've ever done was ensure that whatever rights that we get, whatever rights that we're fighting for, is beneficial for everyone. Because we're not selfish people, black folks. We trying to do for everybody. We'll do for self, but we trying to do for everybody. Because we come from an abundance mindset. Even though we have an abundance mindset, we also know how to survive when they take that abundance away from us. When other communities discriminate against us, we retreat back to our corners and we go back to what we know best. We know that it's us. We know that all we got is us. And if we can't stick together, we ain't gonna survive. But we've always survived. We are survivors. That's a fact. And so for these other communities that want to talk down and look down upon black people and think that we're all one way or the other, we can do the same thing to you. So the coalition politics thing, it's not gonna fly. Coalition politics isn't gonna fly this election. The threat of saying we have to get the Republicans out of there. Yes, we do. We have to get the Republicans out of there. But we're not just gonna put some fucking milquetoast Democrat in there who's not gonna fight on behalf of black people. Coalition politics doesn't benefit us. Coalition politics may sound good in the grand scheme, but black people are tired of being put on the back burner. We're tired of being put beneath other groups of people when black people have been the most consistent to the Democratic Party. So in a sense, at first I didn't get what some of our brothers and sisters were saying, why they were talking bad about Democrats. And then I started to actually listen to them and actually use this mind of mine to be able to see what it is that they were talking about. Because I'm thinking, man, I didn't agree with what they were saying at first. But then I saw the receipts. I started looking at the evidence. And I'm thinking, damn, really, what have they done for us? Besides, you know, symbolic shit, besides symbolism, making Juneteenth a federal holiday or something like that. No, we actually need tangibles. We need reparations. And then seeing a video today about Pramila Jayapal talking about immigrants need reparations. No, nobody needs reparations before black people. That's a fucking fact. No group of people needs reparations before black people. Period. That's not some hot take. That's reality. So for all of these, you know, coalition, you know, to wrap this up, Democrats, if anybody's watching, coalition politics isn't going to fly. Black people are not in the business of trying to unite with anybody outside of ourselves right now, because we've been burned way too many times in the political arena, and we've been burned way too many times in reality, just in general. Other cultures, other groups of people looking down on us. No, we tired of it. We tired of it, and we're not going for it no more. They do not like black people. Stop trying to get us together. There is no black and brown unity. It's only FBA. Don't fall for the bullshit. I'm cool, okay, NAACP. They've been looking out for everyone else but black. They love to include everyone else, but don't help the original people of the cause. Now, it's just a few comments. One could make the argument that, oh, well, you don't know how many people are bots. Yeah, that's true. You don't know how many people are bots. You don't know how many people are actually just trying to stoke division. But the one thing I do know is in real life, people are talking about it. And I don't think they're being influenced by what's being said on the internet. I actually think it's genuine, because I've had conversations with black people, with us, every day. And this type of stuff comes up. So the sentiment is actually real. You know, you can't just throw everything by the wayside that you disagree with and just blame it on people being bots. Yeah, sure, there's some agitators there, but don't ignore the actual issue. Don't ignore what's actually there. Sure, there may be people jumping in to try to stir the pot and come up with bullshit just to try to, you know, I guess from a political sense, try to help the Republicans' chances of trying to win this year, which you've got to be a fucking idiot to be voting Republican. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Understand that the sentiment is real. Don't discount it, because if you continue to discount black people, you're going to find yourself constantly taking L after L after L, because you need that black support. You need FBA support, period. Black people are literally the foundation of the Democratic Party. And if you want to keep us in that position, if you want to keep us there, you're going to have to start looking out for us. You're going to have to start doing things for us. I believe the reason they don't do it is because they're so worried about trying to get other people's vote. And I get it. But why are you worried about trying to get other people's vote? Are you worried about catering to black people? Because to other groups, it may look a certain way. Because that speaks to the bigger issue. Why should anybody else have a problem if black people are getting some tangibles for a change? Black people have fought for every group of people. Don't you think it's time for black people to get some support? Don't you think it's time for black people to be able to get those same things that other groups tend to get? If you're worried about getting their vote at the expense of not giving us what we need, there's your problem. There's the problem in a nutshell. Why is it that other groups of people have a problem with black people actually getting something that we've earned? You can say we didn't earn it all you want. Our ancestors built the foundation of this country. If they indeed have a problem with that, there isn't, then is it really any true coalition there to begin with? Is there any real coalition? Is it genuine? Because it doesn't sound like it is. Thanks for watching today's episode. I really do appreciate it. And this is an important topic, because at the end of the day, we as black people do have to unite. It would be nice if we could all unite. It would be nice if people could just drop their prejudice and their racism or whatever. It'd be nice if we could all just fucking get along. But I don't see that happening, unfortunately, because people have their own agendas. So it's time for black people to have our own agenda and stick to it. And understand that everybody that look like us ain't necessarily gonna go along with what we're talking about. But if we stand together as a collective and be those numbers, be those great numbers that they can't ignore, because that's what power listens to. It's one number or the other. You either have the numbers and organization, meaning you have organizing power, or you have the numbers in the dollar department. Either way, they listen in the numbers. It just really depends on what type of number you gonna be, or what type of number you gonna have. So I'm just another number myself.